Kalee?
Well, Mark, we are going to see the rains, or the snow, I should say, taper off. When it's all said and done, DFW total should come in at about 1 to 3 inches. We will keep an update on that as that snow comes to an end. But it made me think, okay, what are the snowiest Februaries on record for DFW? Because we're already at 4 inches of snow. So I looked back, and the snowiest February was about 13.5 inches back in 1978, 2010 at about 12.6, 1924 7.5, and 4.2 inches back in 1951. Now, I haven't talked with the National Weather Service about what they think, but I do think we're going to be in the top 4 by the time we wrap up today. Tashara?
You have more on what we're looking at.
Yeah, so Greg, we can't get to that warming trend fast enough. Until then, though, we are going to still deal with some dangerous conditions on the roadways because of the winter weather. So I want to talk about the main threats. Snow is going to be tapering off, which is positive news, but south and east of DFW, we are going to continue to see that freezing rain and sleet. So slick roadways, we're still going to have that snow piled up on those roads as well. So you're going to have to take it slow if you have to get out. Then what we've been dealing with already, the power outages and frozen pipes, those are going to continue until we can see these temperatures warm up even more. Again, remember, staying below freezing tomorrow, finally getting above freezing as we go into Friday. Of course, we're going to have more on the forecast and another update coming up, but let's head out to the road.
When will Texas be back online with full power? Probably lies with when will those power plants thaw out?
Yeah, and that's not going to be for another couple of days, Mark, or at least through Friday before we go above freezing. And we continue with this historic cold with record temperatures. Yesterday at DFW Airport, we were the coldest that we've been on that day in more than a century with 18 degrees. The last record was set back in 1903 at 21 degrees. Now, if we look at the update, we have been 84 hours below freezing because we're at 30 degrees Saturday at 5 o'clock, and we have not gone above 32 degrees since then. So that puts us at 84 hours. Now, Mark, with that temperature warming up to above freezing by Friday, the total hours below freezing would be about 144 hours. That is a long time, but to be honest, it's not the longest. It's the 5th longest. So it's been worse. We'll leave you with that. Shara?
Talking more about that.
Yeah, Greg, it looks pretty when those ponds, those streams, the creeks, the surfaces start to freeze over, but it is extremely dangerous. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that to avoid trying to walk on any frozen surface that you see, a pond, anything, even if you think it's thick. 3 inches to 4 inches thick is what you need to be able to support a human, and that rarely happens, if ever, here in Texas. So 5 inches to support a small group ice skating, and then 6 inches thick to support a snowmobile. So it is extremely dangerous to go out there, so please refrain from doing that. Now let's check in with Tashara.
Heard terms like, freezing rain, sleet mixed in with the snow. Can you break down those differences so we can understand what we're looking at?
Absolutely, Mark. I've had a lot of people ask what they mean, because when you're looking at radar, if you pull up our app right now, you're going to see several different colors. Well, it's a freezing rain, sleet, and a snow there. So I want to break down how we get these different precip types. So if you're looking at this and you think you see a pancake in the back of the screen, you absolutely see a pancake, because I love them, and it helps to tell this story. We are the bottom pancake here at the surface. There are several layers of the atmosphere, so each pancake has its own temperature, has its own moisture content, has its own wind, and it all plays a role in winter weather forecasting. So every pancake has to be below 32 degrees to get snowfall. Now, if you look at sleet, you can see there's a little bit of red there. That is a temperature above freezing. There's a small nose of a temperature above freezing, but then it has time to refreeze again and become sleet. Freezing rain has more warm air. It does not have enough time to refreeze until it gets to the surface, hits something that is below freezing, and freezes on contact, and that's very dangerous. Then when the entire pancake stack is above freezing, that's where you get rainfall. So that's how we look at all those precipitation types. Tashara?
Cold today, not as cold as it was yesterday.
Yeah, so we're just looking at the progress here. The snow's starting to taper off, but we do have a bit of a fog and a mist that are going to be left over. So I wanted to discuss the visibility out there across North Texas, which we do have visibility down quite a bit, especially around the Metroplex right now. I'm going to zoom in here to DFW, and you can see DFW Airport down below 2 miles for visibility, a mile for visibility in Richardson, just a little less than 2 miles in Alliance and Springtown as well. So on top of sleet, snow, and freezing rain, we also have to worry about low visibility with fog. Let's check in with Sarah, see how this is impacting.
And how much we've seen in February for that. Over to Kalee, Dionne for that.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, it'll take a little while to get the totals from overnight through this morning to come in, because not only the snowpack we have underneath of it, but also the little bit of ice that we're seeing as well on top of it. So we'll wait for that, but we've already had 4 inches of snow at DFW Airport. So it got me thinking, what was the snowiest February's on record? Well, if you look here, the snowiest is going to be just about 3.5 inches of snow, and that was back in 1978. Now, 2010, which is February, we've been talking a lot about that year, 12.6 inches of snow for the month. We're at 4 right now, 7.5 in 1924, and then 1951, 4.2. I do believe we got more than 2/10 of an inch of snow at DFW Airport, but we'll wait to get the official from the National Weather Service. But that would put us in the top 4 snowiest Februarys on record. Tashara?